kickstart this edition of the Early Bird with a story that's left all of us shocked. Since yesterday, it's pretty much, plagued national headlines. It's what's dominated all the headlines here in the country, and that is with regards to TDP MP Diwakar Reddy. Shocking high-handedness that was caught on camera. This man turned up late at the airport and then went on to assault an airline staff. The latest development, despite the Civil Aviation Ministry refusing to react, IndiGo Airlines has taken a stand, refusing to let Diwakar Reddy fly on their flights. The TDP MP was reportedly late for a flight to Hyderabad from the Visakhapatnam airport. When he was denied a boarding pass, the parliamentarian went on an absolute rampage, shouting at the airline employees, smashing their equipment and even manhandling one of the staff. As despite being caught on camera, Diwakar Reddy brazenly claimed that he did not misbehave at all. This isn't the first time, of course, that this kind of VVIP arrogance has come to light. Almost 2 years ago, YSRCP MP was arrested for slapping an Air India employee. And just a few months ago, we all remember that controversy of a Shiv Sena MP assaulting an airline official. Their colleague in the parliament, now belonging to the TDP, has done the same. Clearly, these members of parliament believe that they're above the law and that nobody can take any action against them.
I was there by 7:35 or so, or 7:40. Immediately I gave my this thing to one of the protocol officer or somebody, I don't know. He is having some badge, that's all, I know that much. He has gone there and he returned after 10 minutes. He said, sir, they don't want to give any boarding pass to you. I never destroyed any this thing. I never abused anything. I never. But I told him, when we are hearing, when we are this thing, how can you issue?
I want to go across to my colleague Ashish, who's joining us with more details on the story. Good morning, Ashish. You know, this particular incident has triggered massive outrage across the country. Every single citizen is outraged that this man thinks that he can get away with this kind of blatant, gundagiri in a sense. What is the kind of reaction that's coming from, not just the centre but also the state government, because this is a TDP MP?
Good morning, Akshita. This particular MP, J.C. Diwakar Reddy, represents Anantapur Lok Sabha constituency of Andhra Pradesh in Parliament. Interestingly, the Civil Aviation Minister, Ashok Gajpati Raju, also comes from Andhra Pradesh. He is also represents Telugu Desam Party in Parliament. This J.C. Diwakar Reddy is also a member of Parliament from Telugu Desam Party. We tried speaking to Civil Aviation Minister, who is in Vijayawada today. We tried speaking to him. He has refused to make any comment in this incident. What we are learning from our sources that at the time of this incident, yesterday, when this TDP MP, J.C. Diwakar Reddy, was on rampage at Visakhapatnam airport, Civil Aviation Minister was also present at that airport. He was, at that time of this incident, he was present at VIP lounge of Visakhapatnam airport. So, interestingly, Civil Aviation Minister is not coming out and not providing any kind of comment on this in particular incident. Now, the Air India and IndiGo Airlines, they have put this particular MP, J.C. Diwakar Reddy, no flying flyers list. But whether Civil Aviation Minister or Civil Aviation Ministry will take any kind of strict action on this fellow Telugu Desam MP, we have to wait and watch for that.
That's right. So the airlines themselves have decided to take this and take action and ensure this particular man does not fly in their airlines. Thanks so much, Ashish, for joining us with those details. Unfortunately, the reality is that these MPs get away with such crimes because they are not accountable to the people. Look at what's happening today. The central government has not acted. The Civil Aviation Ministry is completely silent when in a matter of minutes they should have acted and ensured that this particular MP is taught a fitting lesson. We'll continue to track that story and get you the latest reactions. Hopefully, with the kind of outrage that we're witnessing and with sustained coverage from the media, we will see some sort of an impact and hopefully positively pile pressure on the Civil Aviation Ministry. I want to shift focus now to news from Tamil Nadu. Yesterday, we saw another stormy session in the Assembly. Once again, the DMK staging a walkout as the Speaker refused to allow any sort of discussion on either the alleged cash forward scam in the RK Nagar bypolls or, for that matter, the video clips that allegedly show MLAs boasting about the kind of money that they were offered at the Kuvattur resort by the Sashikala camp. The DMK has made it very clear that they're not going to rest at this point. Today, the case comes up for hearing in the Madras High Court. Stalin has also indicated that he will approach the governor. This even as the BJP has launched an all-new offensive. They started agitating against TASMAC shops in the state, demanding for some sort of debate on this issue as well in the Assembly. The AIADMK government right now is struggling because the opposition is firing from all cylinders and they have absolutely no answers, considering that they're still riddled by their own infighting. I want you to take a look at this detailed report.
A
day after the massive ruckus inside and outside the Tamil Nadu Assembly, political turmoil continues in Tamil Nadu. The ruling AIADMK faction came under intense pressure over allegations of bribing MLAs, with DMK working president M.K. Stalin once again raising the issue in the Assembly. The DMK later staged a walkout from the Assembly after the Speaker refused a discussion on cash for votes.
Sir, in the பிரச்சனை சம்பந்தமா நம்பிக்கையில்லா தீர்மானம் திருப்பி கொண்டு வர வாய்ப்பு இருக்கா சார்? நம்பிக்கையில்ல பேசவே அனுமதிக்கறாங்க. எப்படி நம்பிக்கையில்ல எடுத்துப்பாங்க? வேற மாதிரி இந்த மாதிரி எடுத்துட்டு போக வாய்ப்பு இருக்கு. பார்க்கலாம். நீங்க கேக்குறீங்க வேணாம். டைவர்ட் பண்றீங்க சப்ஜெக்ட்.
வெளிநடப்பு என்றால் இன்றைக்கு பூரா சபை புறக்கணிக்கவில்லை. கவன ஈர்ப்பு ஒத்திவைப்பு தீர்மானங்களை நாங்கள் கொடுத்திருக்கிறோம். அவர் இன்றைக்கு எடுக்கவில்லை. நாளைக்கு அந்த பிரச்சனையை
MLA Mariappan Kennedy called the late Tamil Nadu Chief Minister Jayalalitha as the 11th avatar of Lord Vishnu, sparking another uproar. Outside the Assembly, the BJP took out a procession near the Tamil Nadu Secretariat as hundreds of protesters marched towards the Assembly, calling for a total liquor prohibition.
The political climate in Tamil Nadu is turning more stormy with pandemonium inside the Assembly and protests on the streets. From cash for votes scam to protests against TASMAC, looks like EPS government is on a shaky ground with opposition parties demanding for fresh elections. But for now, political pundits say that the presidential election could decide many political factors in Tamil Nadu, and a lot can change after the new president of India takes charge. With Pramod Madhav and Akshita Nandagopal, this is Priyamvada in Chennai for India Today.
And as I pointed out earlier, considering, of course, that all this is happening on the sidelines with the opposition piling pressure on the government, the AIADMK itself is trying to iron out all differences within the party. And now another fresh headache that's come up, that's cropped up really for the EPS faction, is that TTV's MLAs who have sided with TTV Dinakaran have said that, look, if you want us on board, if you want us to support the presidential candidate of your choice, announced that TTV Dinakaran is very much the leader of the AIADMK. There's no doubt that the Edapadi Palanisamy camp has been left completely stumped by this particular move. It's an absolute googly that's been bowled by the TTV camp, and we'll have to wait and watch to see how this progresses. And on another hand, of course, the BJP will now be very keenly watching these developments because they are counting on the AIADMK coming together and showing a united front to back their own candidate. In fact, at this point, on Thursday, a group of legislators considered close to TTV Dinakaran met the Tamil Nadu Chief Minister and then put across their demand for a key role for TTV in the party. Sources have told India Today that MLAs supporting TTV have claimed that they will support the candidate preferred by the party only if the EPS camp as well as the OPS camp recognize that TTV Dinakaran is a prominent part of the AIADMK. I want to go across to Deputy Editor Priyamvada, who's joining us on this broadcast. Good morning, Priyamvada. Another twist possibly that the EPS faction did not see coming their way at all, and this really could put the BJP's plan itself in jeopardy.
Good morning, Akshita. Absolutely. This is
Okay, we seem to have lost that connection with Priyamvada. We'll get back to her in just a bit for, of course, a detailed analysis of what really this will mean. This isn't something that's just going to affect politics here in Tamil Nadu. It's going to affect the centre as well, which has been parleying with almost every regional party to get them on board, to get their support for their preferred presidential candidate. And if TTV Diwakaran's camp does in fact throw a spanner in the works, we'll have to wait and watch to see how things pan out, considering, of course, that the EPS and OPS camps have made it very, very clear that at this point they do not want TTV Diwakaran or Sashikala Natarajan, for that matter, to play any sort of role in the party. Will they compromise for the sake of the BJP? Will they come together and then decide that they are going to allow TTV Diwakaran to remain as the Deputy General Secretary of the party? We'll have to wait and watch, but clearly TTV Diwakaran has a clear strategy in place at this point. He's played his cards well, he kept them close to the chest and has struck at the exact point when EPS is left handicapped. We've just got, of course, we'll have to see, of course, if the AIADMK will be able to come together, put a united front, and then choose TTV Diwakaran as their leader so that they can, go ahead and back the presidential candidate that the BJP has chosen. So we'll get you all the latest on that story. But another crucial development that will take place today is, of course, with regards to that battle that we were witnessed of sorts for the last few months over the two-leaf symbol of the AIADMK. Remember, the Election Commission had frozen the symbol ahead of the RK Nagar by-poll, and today the EC is likely to pronounce its decision as Deepa Jaikumar, along with OPS, EPS factions, all of them have entered the fray over the party symbol, all of them submitting affidavits. Members of Deepa Forum has also urged the Election Commission to conduct elections for the post of the General Secretary of the AIADMK, while the OPS camp has filed around 180,000 affidavits at the poll panel on Thursday in support of its claim over the party symbol. So every single big political player trying to make the most really of this turmoil, trying to ensure that they get the edge in the fight for that symbol. Let's go across to Shalini Lobo. She's joining us from the national capital. She, of course, has been tracking all the latest developments at the Election Commission. Good morning, Shalini. It's possibly D-Day for many of these factions. There's been a massive fight for the two-leaf symbol over the last many months. All of the factions have approached the Election Commission with affidavits, pages running to thousands and sometimes even lakhs. Give us details of what's really expected to happen today.
Good morning, Akshita. Well, the two-leaf symbol fight has been going on since the month of March ahead of the RK Nagar by-polls. Everyone claiming for the two-leaf symbol, the identity of the AIADMK. Now, this is just a show of numbers right now in front of the ECI, with the EPS camp filing over 4 lakh affidavits. Now today, the 16th of June being the last day to file affidavits, we're expecting more affidavits to be filed by the EPS camp and more affidavits to be filed by the OPS camp. The EPS camp filed over 4 lakh affidavits till now, and the OPS camp 1,80,000 affidavits. Deepa Jaikumar camp, who was not even in the race, came by, filed around 52,000 affidavits. The EPS camp ultimately has the numbers, they have the show of strength. We can't forget how C.V. Shanmugan came with his 4 lakhs, with 4 truckloads of affidavits with cartons, and each one was carted inside the ECI. Today, what we can expect from the ECI is to call a hearing and say, okay, we've got the affidavits, and give a further date as to when they pronounce the verdict.
All right, Shalini, thanks so much for joining us with those details. We'll, of course, keep our viewers updated on the latest developments on that front. The Election Commission will decide who gets the two-leaf symbol, or will they push it to another date. We'll only have to wait and watch. For the moment, EPS, OPS and even Deepa Jaikumar have staked their claim by submitting pages and pages of affidavits to the EC. We'll get you the latest on that front. But we're moving on now to an issue that's crippling every single Chennai. Over the last few months, we here at India Today have tried to pan out across the city to get you a sense of the kind of water crisis that's prevalent in these times of drought in Tamil Nadu. And, it's suffice to say that it's very, very bad here, and that many, many Chennaites have been left crippled by the acute water crisis. In fact, considering that it is the worst drought in 150 years and the mercury only continues to rise here in Chennai. Many Chennaites have now resorted to buying packaged drinking water. Nearly 25 million litres of packaged drinking water is generated from about 250 packaged water manufacturers. These are based in Chennai, Kanchipuram as well as Tiruvallur. Dependency really on these packaged water has become more evident in the last 1 month when Tamil Nadu's Drinking Water Manufacturers Association went on a strike. The government, as usual, once again watched on helplessly, and it's the people of Chennai who are paying the price for the same.
Bad that you buy drinking water, which is such a common thing which some person needs to can't avoid it. I hope the government does something for drinking water, safe drinking water, because we have kids at home.
So around 10 lakh cans are supplied, 10 lakh plus cans are supplied a day, and people are totally dependent on this for their drinking purpose, and since for the regular water supply is depleted, they have started using this for their cooking purpose also. So more or less, any household in Chennai is dependent on this water.
I want to go across to Akshay Nath, who's joining us on this broadcast with more details. Akshay, good morning. You've been, tracking this story for the last many days, trying to reach out to different people, trying to speak to Chennaites and get a sense of how bad the crisis is, not just, of course, with regards to the water crisis, but also the dependency on packaged drinking water. At this point, what are the steps that are being taken by the government to ensure that, prices don't really soar up, or are there any steps at all?
Well, Akshita, it's a very disappointing situation because there is no clear-cut step that the government has taken up. But what we know is this packaged drinking water industry is so dependent by the people of Tamil Nadu that, in fact, many of the environmentalists are saying that is a kind of an addiction, and they're not actually finding out a solution to the current problem that they have. In fact, we've seen the Chennai floods, and then we've seen a very bad cyclone in the city of Chennai, and still there's a water shortage. So that is an environmental issue that is not being addressed properly, is what the environmentalists are saying. And the groundwater level is dipping every time that the packaged drinking water industry involves in taking up water. But how does this happen is a question that all these people are asking about. And drinking water is a basic necessity. And unfortunately, the people of Tamil Nadu do not have a clear-cut solution, but are dependent on a secondary solution right now. That is one issue that the government will have to focus on right now, Akshita.
The government continues to bicker. It's the people of Chennai who pay the price quite literally at this point as the demand shoots up and the supply is coming down. Akshay, thanks so much for joining us with those details. Well, people in Kochi are elated as the Kochi Metro inauguration will take place on June 17th. But even as there was all that excitement, there was also a controversy that erupted, and that was over E. Sridharan, popularly known as the Metro Man, not being invited for the inauguration, which also saw the Prime Minister coming down. So now finally, after India Today's coverage of the same, the PMO has included E. Sridharan. It's released a statement saying that E. Sridharan will share the dais with Prime Minister Modi on the launch of the Kochi Metro. Now, E. Sridharan has been included in the list of dignitaries and he will be present for the Kochi Metro inauguration. This after a row erupted after Sridharan was not invited for the inauguration ceremony, even though he has sought to play down the controversy. Many are claiming that it's akin to ignoring the Metro Man's contribution to public transport in the country.
ആ ഏജൻസി അവരെന്താ തീർച്ചയായിട്ടും അതുപോലെ ചെയ്യണം. എല്ലാവർക്കും അത് നിർബന്ധിതമാണ്. ക്ഷണിക്കേണ്ട ആവശ്യമില്ല. ഞാൻ തന്നെ ഈ കുട്ടി ഇപ്പോഴല്ലേ പണിയെടുക്കുന്ന ആളല്ലേ, അപ്പം എന്തിനാ ക്ഷണിക്കേണ്ട ആവശ്യം? അതൊന്ന് വെറുതെ മാധ്യമങ്ങൾ ഉണ്ടാക്കുക എന്താണ്?
I want to go across to Rohini Swami, who's been tracking the story. Rohini, there was considerable outrage over what happened. E. Sridharan is someone who's played such a big role in transforming public transport, not just in Kerala, but across the country. And many felt that this was an outright insult to his contribution to public transport. Has there been any sort of explanation from the centre, from the PMO, as to why he wasn't there in the first place?
Absolutely not. We haven't got any details or a statement that came from the PMO explaining as to why his name was eliminated or was not even there in the list. And mistake or no mistake, it definitely is a huge insult to a man who has created one of the best infrastructures in terms of the metro lines, not only for Delhi, but some others also for, he has been consultant for the Bangalore Metro and also for the Kochi Metro. The Kochi Metro also is quite important, Akshita, because this is the first one of its kind metro system that has been put in place, which is an integrated system. It is not just about rails. They've also included what is called a water metro and they've included buses. So land, water, and the train put together, that is making this Kochi Metro extremely different. And the hand of the Mr. E. Sridharan in this cannot be denied. Apart from the fact that actually it had to be identified and been told, and only then did they realize the entire issue. Now that the statement we just heard of E. Sridharan clearly shows the magnanimity of the man, saying it is of primary importance of the Prime Minister's security. It shouldn't be read otherwise or should not be made an issue, but an issue that a man who was involved in and who is a man like the Metro man, Mr. E. Sridharan, not being the list itself is an embarrassment, not just for the state government, but for the country itself.
Absolutely. Rohini, thanks so much for joining us on that story. At this point, finally, the PMO has retracted and ensured that E. Sridharan is part of the list of dignitaries and, of course, recognizing his role in the Kochi Metro. He's popularly known as the Metro Man for a reason, and the PMO unnecessarily stoking a controversy there. So E. Sridharan will share the dais now with the Prime Minister on June 17th when the Kochi Metro will be inaugurated. On that note,